guests who are joining us this evening. Neerja Chowdhury, journalist and political commentator, and of course Smita Gupta as well, who's a senior journalist. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us this evening. I want to first come to you, ma'am, Neerja Chowdhury. Ma'am, I want to ask you now, what is going to be the strategy of the India Alliance members? Can they still stake claim to form the government, considering that the BJP has gotten all its allies together on one table? So seems like they will perhaps sort of agree. There will be some sort of an arrangement or agreement to the demands of the alliance members of NDA.
I think now they've pretty well made it clear. The Congress party, from what I gather, has said that has indicated that they will not be staking their claim. And of course, on this side, the NDA meeting has been attended by Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu, both flanking the Prime Minister, who is going to stake his claim to form the government as the leader of the NDA, not as the BJP parliamentary party. So that is a very different qualitative shift that's taking place. And the two leaders who are key to this alliance and coalition, Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu, will be accompanying him. So I think the things are pretty well clear now, and swearing in is likely to take place on Saturday from what we hear. Whether the Congress will do something in the future will depend on how the situation shifts, if it shifts at all. But with the Congress having hinted yesterday that they will get in touch with these two leaders and they might consider it, they created a sense of suspense. That has gone to strengthen the position of Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu vis-a-vis their bargaining power with the BJP. Because on the other side, there's always a possibility, however remote it seems at the moment, and a long shot at the moment, that might happen in the future, and the BJP will be wary of antagonizing them. Now, the interesting thing about what is being put in place, and I'm sure it's already been put in place, are the nuts and bolts of power sharing. That is going to be the key to this coalition. KC Tyagi of the Janata Dal U has already indicated that they expect proportionate sharing of portfolios. What the portfolios will be, how many ministers will be given to each party. If you count, then it's expected to be one minister per 3 MPs. So that takes the tally. If you also accommodate those who have 1 member, 2 members, does it go up to 15, 16 ministers of the allies, which is a very large chunk, and the portfolios that they are going to demand. That also very interesting. And going by past experience of coalition governments, which had Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar in the past, it will be very interesting. The allies report, the ally MPs report directly to their party chiefs, not necessarily to the Prime Minister as the primary loyalty. So how that's going to pan out also, it's a very different arrangement that's going to come into existence on Saturday.
Right.
And with the
Right,
Prime Minister
right,
called really to stoop to conquer, to run his ministry.
Yes, in fact, all eyes now really on how that will work out. And let me get Ms. Smita Gupta. Ma'am, if you could also share your opening comments, your thoughts on what Ms. Neerja was saying about the fact that all of these alliance leaders and alliance members will have to report to their alliance leaders and not really to the leader of a coalition. In this case, it happens to be Narendra Modi. So how will that really work out in sustaining a government for a long period of time, given that the BJP has always enjoyed a majority as far as numbers are concerned? This is perhaps a return of coalition politics that was present in the country before 2014.
Well, I agree with what Neerja just said, because that has been the practice in the past, that allied parties report to their party supremos or party presidents, and it is any kind of issue that might arise between the different political parties will be settled by by the presidents of the individual parties. This, as Neerja pointed out, is going to be a completely different arrangement from the one that we've seen over the last decade, where Mr. Modi and his Home Minister Amit Shah have enjoyed absolute power. We don't even know really whether there have been some speculation that the allies have said that they don't want Mr. Amit Shah to be the next home minister. So, I mean, because they are in a very, their numbers may be small compared to that of the BJP, but they hold the key to Mr. Modi and the BJP continuing to be in power. For instance, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu of the Telugu Desam party has already asked, I'm told reliably, for the speaker's job, for the speaker's slot in the Lok Sabha. If he indeed gets that position, if one of his MPs gets that position, you can imagine what a difference it will make to Parliament. Because we have seen, for instance, the way Parliament functions has been functioning over the last decade, where the two chairs of the two houses have wielded absolute power in favor of the dispensation. They have not been at all democratic. They have not at all been non-partisan. They have taken a partisan position. If we have a Telugu Desam speaker in the Lok Sabha, you can imagine what a huge difference it will make. Both Mr. Nitish Kumar and Mr. Chandrababu Naidu have sought packages for their own states, special status. In the case of Mr. Naidu, he wants a financial package to ensure that he can build a capital that will be, on the same level as Hyderabad. So Mr. Modi will have to take care at every step of what his allies want. Yes, we have been talking only about Mr. Nitish Kumar and Mr. Naidu. There is also the NCP-led, the Praful Patel NCP and the Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena. Even whatever, on a smaller scale, whatever they want, the BJP will just have to give it. As far as the opposition-led, the Congress the India Alliance is concerned,
Ms. Gupta, I'll have to interrupt you here for a short while. Do hold on to your thoughts. We'll come back to this. Meanwhile, we have some breaking inputs coming in. Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, has put out a tweet stating that this is his statement at the India Jan Bandhan meeting. That's what he calls it. He basically says that the election mandate is against Modi. He also says that this is Modi's political and moral defeat. And he also says that we welcome parties that believe in justice. He also says that they will try their best to deny this public opinion. We know their habits. Of course, he also states that the elections are fought on the name of the Prime Minister, and the face and public has given a clear message to his leadership by not giving the BJP a majority. Now, considering that the meeting is going on, and Mr. Kharge says that this was his opening statement, and the kind of inputs that are really coming in, what Mr. Kharge has put out in his tweet, what do you think this messaging is suggesting? Is the meeting going to be more about how the India Alliance members can really deploy themselves as efficient opposition members? Neerja, ma'am, if you could answer that.
Okay. Now the challenge, now that the decks are cleared, and the people of India have not only elected their government, but they have also voted for the opposition they want in the country. And how the opposition India, because the others really don't matter now. This is reduced to 18. So what we are looking at is two coalitions as happened in the 90s. Led by BJP and led by the Congress here. That coalitional bipolarity is what we are looking at. So India will have to now be the strong and vibrant opposition that the people want, putting the government on the mat when necessary. And I absolutely agree with Smita that post of the speaker, Lok Sabha speaker, is going to be critical. And I think the TDP is going to try very, very hard, apart from a package for Andhra, to get that position. Because the speaker in this new scheme of things, what happens in parliament, whether you adjourn it sine die, whether you disqualify people, or you suspend members, or you, push through laws without adequate discussion, all that is in the hands of the speaker. If the BJP tries to break other parties. After all, in the past, Narasimha Rao was as prime minister also did not have a majority and went on after a year or so to break other parties to acquire a majority. So if the BJP at the future date does that, then the speaker's position becomes very critical. So I think the allies, particularly the TDP, will want to go for that position. And I think how unitedly India now acts will also depend on the sophistication and wisdom and large-heartedness that the Congress party displays, which is that is it done so far. You know, it is not acted, on the whole, not acted as the big brother, and said they were not going to be pitching for prime ministership if India Alliance came to power. So they will have to allay the fears of their other allies, who will be apprehensive that the growth of a resurgent Congress party may be at their expense in the state. So that those kind of fears the Congress will have to allay. And yet, you know, move in tandem both in the states and in parliament, because now very important states are going to go for election. Maharashtra, Haryana, Jharkhand, next year Delhi, and the India Alliance is very well placed in all these states.
Right. Right. So let me take that question across to Ms. Gupta. Ma'am, of course, you have several state elections coming up. In fact, the Jammu and Kashmir elections might happen before September 2024 is what the information we are getting. I want to understand how the dynamics between each of these parties will now function. Now, from Mallikarjun Kharge's tweet, it seems that the Congress party is comfortable being part of a vibrant opposition to the ruling NDA. But the big question is, how will the other alliance members respond, considering that all of them, some of them, including the Samajwadi Party, has scored a major win in UP, 37 seats, TMC 29 seats, DMK 22 seats. That's been a giant killer in, of course, the state of Tamil Nadu. How will these opposition leaders be looking at, these developments that are happening, and will they be able to stay together?
Well, you know, all these party leaders that you mentioned, whether it is the DMK, the Samajwadi, and the Trinamool Congress, their leaders are very different. If let's take MK Stalin off the DMK first. He is a person who is very conciliatory and has always deferred to the Congress, because he is quite content with his position in Tamil Nadu as, you know, the chief minister over there. He knows his strength, and whatever concessions he makes to other political parties with whom the party shares seats at the time of elections, they are marginal. So I don't imagine that that Mr. Stalin is going to create any problems for this alliance. Number two, we come to Mr. Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party. Yes, he has done extremely well. And for the first time, it is his party which is going to be the third largest party in parliament, replacing Mamta's Trinamool Congress. So that is quite huge. After the BJP and the Congress, the Samajwadi Party is the third largest party in parliament. I think there a great deal will depend on the personal equation that Mr. Akhilesh Yadav has built with Rahul Gandhi. And while they will certainly want their share, I don't think that there will be that much of a problem. It is with Mamta Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress that the maximum, problems that may arise. But we have to remember one thing: in this election, one of the reasons that Mamta Banerjee was so upset with the Congress was because of Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury of the Congress party, who the Congress had made the leader of the opposition in parliament. And Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury spent most of his time attacking the Trinamool Congress rather than the CPM or other political parties over there, or the BJP. Now Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury has been defeated in this election, so his role will become far more marginal. So I would imagine that, especially as now it is Mr. Kharge who is the president of the Congress party, he is a person who is good at also holding people together. He is of an age, his temperament is also very conciliatory. he will discuss things with everybody. Mrs. Gandhi has not gone away. Sonia Gandhi will always be there. So I don't think that this alliance will do badly. I think they have also realized this 10 years out of power, and not just out of power, but absolutely rendered powerless. I think that this combination will definitely try and work very hard together. Yes, and I forgot one very important person in this group, and that is Sharad Pawar. Sharad Pawar is somebody who is, who has always played the role of kingmaker, of conciliator, and he has extremely good relations across the board, not only with people within the India alliance, but also with people in in the ruling alliance. So I think that these 10 years out of, not just out of power, as I said, but almost rendered powerless, they will, I think, work well together.
So you're saying, ma'am, they will work together. The India Alliance members, India Bloc members will, of course, come together on several issues and will be responsible. I want to get the final comments of Ms. Chowdhury here. Ma'am, do you agree with that? I mean, ma'am is saying that Ms. Gupta is saying that they've been out of power for the past 10 years. However, just a few months back, we had Mamta Banerjee stating that she might consider giving outside support to the Congress party when they come to power. And then you have Aam Aadmi Party going together with the Congress party in Delhi, but separately in Punjab. And you have assembly elections coming up in just a short while from now. Do you think India Alliance members will be able to stay together?
Look, I think now it's in their interest to do so. They see they are on a trajectory towards revival in power. And if they let go of this opportunity, and they've been also at the receiving end of agencies going for them, they realize they have to hang together. It'll be very interesting to see whether the BJP's allies can play a part in getting the release of the chief ministers who are in prison. Those kind of things, whether Arvind Kejriwal, Hemant Soren, whether those kind of things will also be attempted. Let's see how things pan out. But one word about Sharad Pawar, who Smita mentioned. Sharad Pawar had said not long ago during the campaign that the situation he saw that the regional parties were going to strengthen, support the Congress much more. Some of them may even merge in the Congress. And obviously, he was pointing to his own party. Now, if the regional parties who were maybe at one time with the Congress, like Mamta Banerjee, like Jagan Reddy, who's now out in the cold, and of course his own NCP, whether they merge into Mamta will not merge into the Congress because she is the Congress in West Bengal, whether a federated approach or a federated structure can be fashioned of a larger Congress which learns to accept these parties as equals. It'll be if there's one man who can do that, who can pick up the phone, get people together, I think it's Sharad Pawar. And it may also, if this begins to happen, say with the Maharashtra elections down the line, where it will make a difference, then it builds on the momentum for the opposition parties that the Lok Sabha polls have generated. So all these things are in the realm of the speculation at the moment, but certainly the politics has opened out out both for the BJP. It's going to be a very new way to function, and also for the opposition, which will have to get its act together and show statesmanship and large-heartedness in days and months to come.
Absolutely. And you're ending this discussion on a very, very interesting note and a very, very interesting point about a federated approach or structure that can come about in all of these regional parties that will perhaps, sort of reduce the frictions that they may have. We'll, of course, take this point forward for discussion. But for the moment, thank you, Ms. Neerja Chowdhury and Ms. Smita Gupta, for joining us on this broadcast and sharing your perspectives and thoughts on what's happening as of now.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.